is Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of C14 Dating. So we're at a new cutscene, and I'm gonna go ahead and start. Oh man, lab is still difficult. Why does everything I touch turn to dust? I ambled over to the tent area, wondering if I should kill time by gaming or reading. It was then that I spotted Shoji sitting on the edge of his air mattress, with the tent flap open. There was a sketchbook in his lap, and a pencil sticking out of his mouth. He was erasing something intently, his eyes furrowed in concentration. Quietly, I sauntered over and leaned to the side to catch a glimpse. "What you doing?" His head jerked up in surprise as he dropped the eraser, his wide eyes peering over his glasses. He mumbled over the pencil before taking it out of his mouth. Once the shock wore off, his feet shuffled closer, hesitant to reveal his work. Drawing. Asked to take a look? Let him be. Alright, well, let's ask to take a look. I'm curious. Can I sneak a peek? He hugged his sketchbook briefly, then tentatively handed it over. It's nothing amazing. I examined the rough drawing and realized that he was sketching his surroundings. Half of the tents were shaded in, while faint lines resembled other tents and trees. Why here? I had the urge to draw all day, and my mind was full of ideas. But when I finally got here, I blanked out like the paper and didn't know what to draw. I decided to sketch everything around me. Even so, this is really good. It's practically a photograph. I held the drawing in the air, pretending it was a frame mounted on the wall to compare it to the real counterpart. Shoji fidgeted with the pencil, his eyes averted. Really? I mean it. I handed the book back. Are you seriously thinking of pursuing art in college? I'd like to, but it's hard to be financially secure career-wise. Not that I need a luxurious lifestyle or anything, but it'd be preferable if I didn't have to worry about bills or affording groceries. I thought maybe I could go into computer engineering instead and practice art on the side. I'm currently thinking it over. I am in my first semester after all. Comp English all the way, encourage him to go into art. Agree he'll figure out what works best. Let's encourage him to go into art then. I say go for the art degree. You should do what you truly love, even if it means struggling a bit. Maybe, but I know I'll need another job on the side. That's why I'd like a different degree, since I can practice my art on my own time. I'm still deciding, but thanks for your input. There was a holler from the other side of the site. Shoji didn't need to translate that dinner was ready. Sweet, I'm starving. Thanks for letting me look at your sketchbook, Shoji. I adore your art. It was no problem. I'm glad that you weren't disappointed. I rarely show people my artwork, and I wasn't sure how you'd react. If you draw something new, be sure to show me. Promise. Shoji's adorable too. Oh. Yeah, oh, they look so grumpy. They're so cute. Are we going to get along this time? Fine, I'll be the adult here. You really suck as a volunteer partner, but I shouldn't have yelled at you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you while preparing lunch last week. You know what you're doing and I won't ignore your advice. It's cool. I'll set the table then. Remember, the forks go on the left side of the plates. I know what I'm doing. Oh, he's so cute. Well, that didn't last long. DeAndre rolled his eyes before he turned to me. That wasn't so bad, was it? I guess, but I doubt we'll get along swimmingly. Can't stand him. I'm sure there's a few good things about Kyler. Like? He's hardworking in the cave. Can't think of anything at all. He's hardworking in the cave. I mean, it's better than can't think of anything at all. He's diligent when it comes to archaeology. He grumbles, but he helps out when I need it.
Nice to know. He's good at something at least. I guess he's kinda cute if you squint.
Really?
Like I said, if you squint. I have a call to make. I'll be right back.
Do you swing both ways, DeAndre?
If you too, we could have some fun.
Okay. All done?
I set up everything and... Why are you staring at me like that?
No reason.
Cute. Oh. Okay, let's see. More cave, of course, and then we'll study. Oh, our stress is really bad. Okay, so cave. And let's, game and rugby. Let out some of that stress. Volunteer here. Oh, wait. Go back up. No, okay, we won't volunteer here. Let's study. Cave, volunteer. There we go. Oh, he's in the lab. Lab. Study. And then we'll dance. And we'll dance again. And then we'll study. Okay.
We never get anywhere with this. It's just butts. We've seen this, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip. And we're back. And we haven't seen this. Hooray. Leveling everything to 25 centimeter mark is tedious. I was surrounded by 4 buckets, each dedicated to a different layer. When I reached the bottom, I learned that my square sloped like a steep slide. It had to be perfectly vertical. There were a few inches, metric centimeters, that I had to scrape off, but there was still the possibility that I would find more bone or flint while smoothing it over. Kyler was absent, doing laboratory work, leaving me in a solitary hole. Through my low music, I heard footsteps coming down the ladder. I paused my song as I turned around to greet the person. Augustine clutched a document that looked vaguely familiar, and I realized it was my handwriting on it. My stomach plunged, but I forced a hopeful grin as I removed my earbuds and stood up. Hello, Augustine.
Melissa.
He handed me the fichier and I nervously glanced over it, wondering what was wrong.
I noticed in your most recent reports, you do not sketch the findings in the grid provided at the bottom.
I flipped it over and he tapped the last page, which were devoid of any pencil marks. Oh. I scrambled to formulate a reason for neglecting the last part. I originally didn't bother sketching in the smaller objects, and I guess it became a habit. Well, everything already gets recorded in the nature list, so I didn't draw its position too. He shook his head, severely disappointed by my logic. I sidestepped to allow him to approach my square, and he picked up the bigger trowel from my usual tool set.
Again and again, I have stressed that context is important in microstratigraphy. Not just the X and Y coordinates, not just the delta, but also how it was positioned when you found it. The provenance is essential to understanding how this find got to where it is now. Do you know what period you're working on?
Roughly 120,000 years ago, give or take a few thousand.
And is this a warm or cool period?
This is during the end of a brief warm period. The warmer period began around 130 years ago, and from 125,000 onward, it started to cool down.
This is extremely important to record context in these layers due to the climate change. Moreover, it has been proven Neanderthals have occupied this cave and their remains have been found in these sediments. Most of these findings have been recovered in a secondary context. That is, they were moved from their original position due to external elements such as fluvial processes, rockfalls, animals, and ice. We need to know what position the finding was in to determine how it was brought here, or if it is in situ. I don't know. Or is that an L? No, it's a U. Alright. If a bone is vertical, it is possible it was moved by cryoturbulation, with ice wedging underneath it little by little every year until it moved into a new context. Or maybe it was deliberately buried by a Neanderthal. But how will we know if you do not record this?
His tone was level, but very strict, and with every sentence, I felt more and more careless about my excavation. I could only nod as he continued.
Here, we believe the cave was opened during that warm period, possibly due to collapse, but we don't know. Caves usually have stabilized environment until something happens, such as rock falls or a river cutting through the limestone. It is now subject to more drastic turmoil, and we need to know what those changes were and how they impacted this cave.
Augustin continued, using his trowel to pretend to find various bones or flint. I did my best to follow along, but my mind was a whirlwind of disappointment. I had thought I carried out the procedure to a T. Why didn't Kyler point it out? No, it wasn't his fault. If anything, I should have been more aware. Maybe Sherry would know.
Archaeology destroys. You have one chance to accurately record the position, then it is gone forever, and you are no better than a collector who does not respect the significance of context. Therefore, please outline how they were found. Its provenance is extremely vital.
Right, I gotcha, Augustin. I'm really sorry.
I will return this document to the lab, but I want all future reports to be filled in completely.
Once he was gone, I tossed my trowel onto one of the buckets and grabbed my journal. I had a feeling I needed to write down everything I was lectured on before I forgot.
Ugh.
We need to pass something so we can stop being so stressed out.
Oh, come on! Yay! Finally.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.